Hello, my crafty friends. It's Michelle, the Southern Shell, and I am here with a Craft Your Stash video. We have Tosha with Sunflower Tosha, and we have Joanna with Joanna's DIY Life. And this month's guest host is our lovely Divine Designs. Thank you all for doing this for us. I love doing this collaboration because y'all know I've got a bunch of stuff in my stash. Now, I only have one project for you today, but that's okay. It's a doozy. Well, I do make two, but it's a doozy and I love it. Okay, let's move on. Now, in the first picture I showed you, I had some inspiration, and those pieces were just really pricey. And that's fine because that's probably what I would sell this for as well. And I love the way mine turned out. So I'm using some wood shims from my stash, and I'm using my Tight Bond wood glue, and I'm taking two of those wood shims and flipping them back to back so they create a flat surface on top. Now, I don't have any clamps down here. Of course, they're probably all over the place upstairs somewhere or downstairs in the basement, but I'm just using binder clips. And guys, this worked out great. This worked out great. So it held them down with enough pressure that these are going to be like one solid piece. So the second stack that I'm doing is I'm making it a little longer. And by doing that, I am actually marking it so I know exactly where I need to put that glue. And I'm marking it about 1.5 inches, 2 inches down to create a longer wood shim base. And once again, using those binder clips, I am attaching that, and I will set these aside to dry. So the next thing I did is I grabbed 2 shims, and I wanted to see just how tall I wanted this. And so I'm messing with this, kind of moving that in so I know exactly where I need to put my shims, so I know where I need to mark them to move up the side of that tree. Knew where they would sit. I went ahead and pulled in 2 more to find out exactly where I needed to glue these together to create the taller tree that I wanted here. And I am creating this to actually stand up right at 12 inches high. And so I want to adjust that shim on there so I know exactly where I need to glue it. So I marked it out where I measured up 3 inches, and I am going to add the glue onto the space up there, that wood glue, that Type Bond Quick and Thick wood glue. And I'm going to lay that shim on there, and I'm going to use, once again, those binder clips to attach that. And you see, I'm laying these down in the same directional position, creating a staggered tree effect. Do the same thing on the other 2 shims that I had marked for this particular tree. And using those binder clips, just adding it on there so that it's being held down nice and tight. And that wood glue, any excess that came out, I will just wipe off. So the other one I'm going to do is going to be larger. So I'm doing 3 shims per side. So I'm going to mark it at the, what am I marking it at here? I think at 3 inches. And then I'm going to move that up, draw it. And then I will go ahead and mark the next one at the same length there. So this is going to add some more height to this other tree here. I wanted one that was going to be bigger. So on this one, I went ahead and used the wood glue on the outside, and I put a string of hot glue on the center so that these would hold up, and I'd be able to move on with the process faster than if I was just using the hot glue. So the wood glue around the outside, and then I put some hot glue down the center, line that up to the line I drew on there, and then some binder clips to hold this in place while I work on the next section. I went through my wooden ornaments, and I decided I was going to do one in deer and the other in the stocking, the snowman, and the hat. And so I am covering everything with Mod Podge here because I have some really pretty papers that I want to use on these to make the Santa hat and the stocking look like sweater material. So I'm just going to take my paper here, and I'm going to lay that hat right on there and the stocking. And I'm going to cut that out. And So I tried the fire burn method on these, and guys, it does not work with scrapbooking paper. I'm just going to tell you that now. I tried and it did not turn out well. So here you can see I lit it and I'm trying to burn it around those edges, but because it was regular paper, this was not working for me. I know that tissue works really well, and I've done it with tissue paper or napkins. It's much thinner and it worked really well, but this did not. So I went ahead and moved on to the process that I am better with, using scrapbook paper, which is putting down your Mod Podge first. You can see I have Mod Podge along the top of that stocking and that hat because I'm going to redo it. So I just put the Mod Podge down and I'm going to let this Mod Podge. After hitting it with my heat gun just a little bit to dry that out, I went ahead and pulled out the other paper that I was using for the deer. Now this is a dark paper. It's more of a charcoal gray and it has some little cream spots on it. And I thought this would make a great color for our deer. So once I get this turned over, you will be able to see because I will be ironing this on. There we have it. Iron that on, and then I'm going to have to come in and trim that out because the burn method is not going to work on this. So here I'm just coming in with my little Tim Holtz scissors, and I'm cutting straight down in a line clear up to the edge of that wood in all of these little crevices, all these little small areas. And then I'm going to come in and I'm going to start with my little sander around the big pieces there. And that's going to sand that off nicely. And then I have to get into the details. So I come in with my X-Acto knife and I'm going to go ahead and just trim around the inside of my antlers and those little tight areas to trim off all that excess paper. Okay, so once I had that all trimmed out, I came in with my little sandpaper and I folded it in half and got into those crevices. So the snowman, I decided it would probably be just the cutest painted instead of having a solid paper on there. So I'm coming in with, first of all, my chocolate sprinkle, and that's the color of my arms. And now I have the little black dress by DIY, and I get this from Rachel at Stella Rosa Mercantile. I'll leave her link in the description box below. I needed to hit it with a little blow dryer first so that I can move on to the next color, which is my Waverly in Snow White. And I put a coat of Snow White all over our snowman, and then I hit it again with the heat tool, and I'm coming in now with that little black dress again and the end of my paintbrush to make the snowman face. Now I am doing this on both sides of this snowman. I'm going to come in with my pencil and I'm going to draw in where I want the little nose to be. And this is outrageous orange acrylic paint. And I went ahead and just touched up that nose, hit it with the heat tool again, and finished the other side as well. So I wanted to paint a scarf. So I am using my pink cloud, and it's by Waverly chalk paint, and I'm just painting a simple little scarf on the neck of my snowman. Both sides of this will be pretty much the same thing. I'm just trying to get them the same. So I'm using my clear wax first. I come in with the clear wax and I'm going to seal all around my decoupage paper, my Mod Podge on my ornaments here. And I wanted to make sure this is going to give me a base coat. So when I add my antique wax to antique it a little bit, I will have a base coat on there so I can wipe off as much of that antiquing wax that I want. So first what I'll do is I'll come in and antique the whole back side of my ornament. Once I get that on there nice and heavy, I'm going to just kind of hit it with a paper towel to wipe back any excess. But I think that the color is perfect. I'm going to do the outline of the trees in this color as well. So I hit it with that paper towel and then mark some down on the front to actually dingy those up a little bit. I went ahead and did the antlers. As you can see, the antlers are done, and I went ahead and hit that with that antique wax. And then I came in with my white wax to fill in the little areas on the hat and the stocking. you'll be able to see the paper underneath. It's just going to give us a nice little coverage there that looks, it's just definitely a rustic look. You can still see your design behind it. Now I'm coming back to the shims that I've had setting aside and drying, and they are totally ready here. Just take off all of my little pieces, and now I'm going to glue them to the bottom. I want to have some twine hanging between the top of where this tree meets to hang my ornaments off of. So first thing I do is I lay some wood glue down and then some hot glue, and I'm going to lay that side piece right in that glue, and then I'll come back in with that hot glue and fill in the little gap right there of that tree. When I come and do the top, I'm going to go ahead and put the twine in between there and hot glue and wood glue that. Then I hit it with the antique wax. I don't know what happened to that footage, but I glued on the ornaments to my twine and my deer standing up in the corner. I know I filmed it. I just don't know. Well, I thought I filmed it. How about that? So this one was our tall one, and it just looked really blank in that corner. So I found these beautiful glitter berries on this twig that I had in my stash. I don't know where I got it. It was probably given to me at some point or another, and I'm finally using it. And I think this was the perfect touch for this tall, rustic wood shim tree. I went ahead and just fluffed those berries out after I trimmed that down. And I am going to use my wood glue and my hot glue to actually attach this to the bottom of that shim. I'm using both because I've already put the wax on there, and this should help all of that stay down there nicely. Once I add that wood glue, I'm going to put a little bit up the side there so that that branch can go up the side of my tree. I'm going to lay that down into the hot glue and that wood glue, press it down in there so that hot glue can grab it, and then I'm going to come in with my little binder clips and I'm going to pin that down to the inside of my tree. Fluff it out just a little bit, and we are ready for that to dry. And guys, I wanted to remind you this is a collaboration, a craft your stash, and I love how this turned out. We have our hosts, Tosha with Sunflowers Tosha, and we have Joanna with Joanna's DIY Life. And our guest host is Divine Designs. Guys, their links to their channel will be in my description box below, along with the playlist of the other collaborators, other creators joining this collaboration. Now, I added some extra hot glue around the bottom of the animals and the snowman, and now I'm going to come in with my Waverly chalk paint in Snow White, and I am going to paint that hot glue now that it is set up. And this is going to give me a nice little stable base where those ornaments will stand, and I don't have to worry about them not being strong enough or have enough glue to hold them.
Well, there you have it. I think those turned out really cute. When I've seen some online and their prices, I'm like, I can make that. So I did. Guys, what do you think? Should I add like a big star on the top of that one? It's so big. It's a tall one there. Because that tree next to it is 20 inches. So yeah, I mean it's good. It's good size. Good size. And then of course the smaller one with the deer. I love how these turned out. Let me know if I should put something on the tops of them or leave them as they are. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I do appreciate your time. I am so grateful you spent some of your day with me. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you've not subscribed, I hope you will consider doing so now by hitting that subscribe button. As always, guys, stay safe, God bless, and bye for now.